Hello beautiful people, welcome to my channel. My name is Teresa and I'll be your tour guide on the magical mystery tour today. What are we talking about? Setting powders versus finishing powders. Now you may think these are interchangeable, and they pretty much are, but there is some confusion around what the performance is of them, what they are designed to do, which way should you go. So we're going to talk about that and explain it all to you a little bit. But first, before we do, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, ring the notification bell to be alerted to any new uploads, and if you like this video at the end, please give it a big thumbs up. So let's get to setting powders versus finishing powders. Right, we've got a bit of fluffiness happening here. It's this is my natural hair with nothing in it. She's curly, she's got a bit of frizz. Yeah. Welcome to the curly girl. So let's get down to the basics of it. Setting powders versus finishing powders. I do have some notes here, so please forgive me as I reference them, because I want to make sure I'm telling you correct information. They do serve distinct purposes in it. So a setting powder, let me just grab some. I've got loose and pressed powders here as well. So a setting powder, let's go with an old school legendary one. A setting powder is designed to lock in your makeup, keep it in place, control shine, extend the wear of your foundation. If you want your foundation to have a real longevity to it, you need a setting powder. On the other hand, finishing powders, Charlotte Tilbury, Hourglass, just to name a couple, they add a final touch to your makeup. So they blur your makeup, they make it give it a soft focus, sort of filtered effect. They don't increase the longevity, but they do take it up that next level. They give it that really nice airbrushed look. What is a setting powder? I'm going to hold up. We've got the Too Faced Born This Way Ethereal Setting Powder. This was a holy grail for such a long time. I haven't used it for ages. I maybe need to start using it again. The Hourglass Veil. We've got LYS, the Triple Fix Translucent Setting Powder. And then on the cheaper end of the scale, I've got a couple of DB Cosmetics ones, Luminous Setting Powder, Ready Set Setting Powder. So this Luminous, just very quickly, while it's luminous, we're not talking about the finish here. So you can get a luminous setting powder and you can get a luminous finishing powder. No different to having it in foundations, I guess. And I've got a new super cheapie that I really love, the OXX Cosmetics Mattifying and Setting Powder. Okay, so a setting powder, it's a matte powder. Setting powders tend to be matte, even though I've just said this is luminous. It's a luminous matte. They come in loose and press form. They remove all that excess shine from your skin, so it really will extend that wear. If you need your makeup to have really good longevity to it, then lean towards a setting spray. It's really about the technique that you use with them as well. So whether you want a really natural finish or a matte one. So for a more natural finish, and this is with any powder as well, use a brush, a big fluffy brush, and it's a tap. So bring it up, tap it off, and tap it into it. Then if you want to really sort of set down your T-zone, obviously, on a puff, on a press, and press in. I tend to use this in my T-zone, this on the outer corner. Now, a finishing powder, obviously it will set the makeup. There is no rule in that you need to use one or the other, and if you are using this to set your makeup, this to set your makeup, you're not doing anything wrong. It will give you, it goes over the surface of your skin, it's going to give you a softer finish. So it's like a filter in powder form, these tend to be. So with finishing powders, it is more about delivering a smoother texture to your makeup and you tend to use these setting powders, you go in after your foundation, blah blah blah. These you tend to use at the end of your routine. So in this today, I have used a combo powder that has a translucent setting powder in it, and then a radiant finish around my outside. And I'm doing a wear test, so I can't do this now, but normally, particularly with this product and with other finishing powders, once I have done all my makeup, before I go in and set it with spray, I will go in with this and I just gently, you just blur it over your skin. I go in a lot softer, and as I said, it gives it that filter-like effect. It blurs out imperfections. It gives it like an airbrush look. It elevates your makeup. It just makes it look a bit polished. Now, the similarities between them are both are used for setting makeup in various areas of the face. They can be applied lighter for a more natural finish or heavier for extra smooth. They're also available in really available in similar formats, as I've said. Pressed, loose, you can get matte finish, you can get luminous finish. Now the differences is their texture, the weight and the tones. Setting powder can be a little heavier in order to lock in makeup, so and keep it in well, whereas finishing powder is a lot more lightweight, which is why you will quite often hear people talk about a product being super finely milled. The Maybelline Fit Me and the Nakia Joy, for example. I know the Nakia Joy is triple milled. This is super lightly milled as well. Again, the Hourglass, if you just run your finger over these products, you will feel the difference. A much lighter weight formula. So a setting powder will generally achieve a more matte look than a finishing powder, and the finishing powder, the texture, that's where you get that pore blurring effect from it. Finishing powders also tend to help color correct as opposed to a translucent powder. Most setting powders come in translucent or skin tone shades. Finishing powders, you can come in shades of pink, in rose, peach, so there's also that to keep in mind. Now, how do you pick which is right for you? The easiest way is to work out what type of finish you want and what sort of skin type that you have. So a setting powder does a really good job of mattifying and removing shine. So if you are looking for oil control, then a setting powder is going to be your friend. If you are a more on the drier side of it, then I would suggest a finishing powder, because it's a much softer look. It will take down excess shine from your foundation formula, but it's not going to make you look dry. So finally, just remember, a setting powder, its main job is to remove shine, to increase longevity of your makeup and more mattify the face a bit. A setting powder is absolutely more about that blurring, softening effect on your face. So you just need to think about what's best and what fits in your routine. Can you use both together? Absolutely. I will quite often set my face down after my base products and then at the end go over with a finishing product. Now, is this going to make me dry and cakey, you ask? No, it is not, if you do it correctly. Gentle hands, and we'll have a chat about this further down the track in another one of these. If I am using setting powder, I am using a spray. If you're really concerned about powder, the thing with powders is, irregardless of, whilst a setting powder is going to lengthen the wear of your product and make it last longer, without any powder of either form, your foundation will eventually break down, even with just wearing a setting spray over the top of it. I use powder on my face every single day. I give it a really, really, really good soak of a setting spray to melt everything in. So we'll talk about that in another video, setting sprays and fixing sprays. I think you can get an idea, setting spray, fixing spray, where we're going to go with that. So that is it, my friends. That's a really quick, basic, easy way to try and work out which works for you. Don't forget to tell your mum, tell your sister, tell your friends to come along and subscribe to the channel. If there's products that you want me to have a chat about, we're going to look at doing contours and bronzers very, very soon. If there is particular formulas, if there is something that you want me to do a bit of a deep dive in, if it is an ingredient, please let me know down in the description box, down in the comments. I'd really love to hear from you and we can go from there. So until next time, take care, lovelies. Bye.